So
Mhm.
I know it's been a while, but if you have questions, things you want to go over in the forum, I'll obviously zoom through that, and we can go as detailed as you like. But also, as I'm sure you're aware, we've talked about like training structure and hero pools and things like that before, so we don't have to
Mhm.
necessarily like hammer at that over and over again, unless you have any specific questions.
Yeah, I mean, my hero pool has changed since
Sure,
I filled out the form.
sure,
I'm still playing Diva a lot, and I'm still playing Sigma.
right,
But I switched over to Ramattra, and I'm having some fun on that.
yeah,
Um,
okay, okay,
but the other thing though is that because of how much Diva I play, and because of you know less time on the other heroes, that's like Diva's the only hero that I have more than a 50% win rate with. So
interesting,
uh,
interesting.
yeah,
Yeah,
I don't
I know
know.
how that goes. I know how that goes. When I first transitioned to Ana, it was like I was actually dog at that hero for like the longest time. It was like 30% win rate and 70% win rate was in for a long time. So, I mean,
Yeah,
it happens. It happens. Okay.
happens.
Um. Figure this out. Okay, so today I'm looking through. I'm just gonna zoom through your form, and then if anything in particular stands out, like oh yeah, I wanted to talk about that, or yeah, I had questions about that, then we'll go over this. So first off, congrats on Masters.
Oh,
Obviously
thanks.
it's been several weeks, so I don't know if that's even changed since the forum, but regardless, congrats on hitting Masters.
Yeah.
Um,
I
like
was I was Masters for a few weeks. I peaked at Masters 1, and then I think like around the time I signed up for coaching, the spiral down began. I went
uh,
down to Diamond 4.
oh
and
jeez,
then and then a few days ago, I won 15 games in a row and got back into Masters.
okay,
And
okay.
then I lost a few more, and I'm sitting at like Diamond 2 right now.
Okay,
So,
makes sense, makes sense. Okay. So things to work on with Sigma, things to continue working on with Diva. Sleep looks good. Long-term, short-term goals,
mhm.
GM, top 500 Diva one trick. So I assume that's changed because now you're whipping out the Ramattra and you want to get better at your Sigma.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I think it
Okay.
was, it's a pipe dream at the
Yeah,
end of the day.
fair enough. Well, I
But
mean, it's not. It might just not be a pipe dream. It might also be like that's just not like the funnest thing for you ever. You know. Um,
yeah,
I
it's
don't know.
not fun getting flamed so much.
Oh, I see. I see. I see. I see. Okay. Well, I mean, you could.
I
You
could.
could, but if you don't want to put up with the muting of chats and having to learn how to play Diva on Circuit Royale, then I
Oh,
get it.
I love doing that.
Oh, really?
On attack, sometimes I'll just fly over the side thing.
Oh, yeah, the
You
Genji
know?
flank thing. Yeah, over
Yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
roofs. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, if
Okay.
I have a Genji or a Pharah, even better. But
Yeah, yeah. Okay, fair enough. Fair enough.
it works
Uh,
like 50% of the time.
sure, sure. Yeah. Okay, I'm looking through here. So, training schedule for you, training time. Are you checking all the boxes in terms of like how much you're able to train, consistency, all that kind of stuff?
Yeah, I mostly play in the morning because I usually work later.
Sure.
So by the time I get home, I'm tired. Um, but I try to do like a VOD review once a week,
Okay. How does that go?
that kind of thing. Um, it's tough because usually like I'll have things that I mean the last time I got coaching from you like in October when Overwatch 2 dropped. So
Yeah.
I just have those things to work on, and I guess I sometimes will identify things that I can improve on, but it's it's harder.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. I remember when I first started doing self out review, and this is when I was already like pretty decent at VOD reviews, and I was like, it's hard. I ended up finding more justifications about why I would do stuff instead of finding out like what I should have done better.
hmm
And yeah, I don't know. Anyway, so what we could do a little bit is obviously give you a fresh set of things to work on specifically, but maybe hopefully work on a couple of like fundamentals that might help you to VOD review yourself a little bit more accurately, a little bit more productively, just so that you feel like you have a better understanding or grasp of like what you're actually like working at, rather than just like practice this, but be like, okay, this is what you're trying to do with this hero. So then theoretically, you should have an idea, a little bit of a better idea of um, like when I go look at my own gameplay, like this is what I'm not doing, you know. Um, but that's hard. That comes with time. Okay. What do you feel is holding you back from improving? Playing Diva a lot has given me skills that aren't transferable or that are transferable to other heroes, but I've not put enough reps since I could be as confident. Okay. Um,
That's more things like target priority. I feel
yeah, 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 yeah.
HP
It's
management,
different. It's different.
but it's
Yeah,
different.
yeah. Okay, okay. Do you have any other questions or anything else you want to go over before we just hop into the footage?
No, I think I'm ready.
Okay, first one, Q that QRGGST.
Hmm.
Up here. Okay. I play Sigma Diva Ramattra here. I think I did right. Something covers from winning the very winnable game. I wonder if I possibly misread the situation. Should have played Ram over Diva in the latter half of the game. Yeah, getting a little bit of all the heroes is obviously going to be good here, but you know the routine. Like here's the thing: is it's like you look at first point Rialto, especially a map like Rialto. It's like there isn't a bad tank hero for this map. Like
Yeah.
I'm obviously being a little bit facetious. Like yeah, I wouldn't necessarily play Winston on third point attack. You know what I'm saying? But like
Sure.
there or Diva necessarily either. But like a lot of the tanks are doable here. Like especially like first and second point. Like Ramattra, Sigma, and Diva all are actually really quite good on second and first point. High grounds, there's longer sightlines, but there's also ways to initiate brawls as well. So like it's just gonna be about like how you're executing at it. So tell me what you've been working on with Sigma, because if you pick up a new hero, you are working at something. So what has that
Yeah.
been?
Um, so the thing I've been working on, I would say, would be like kind of controlling angles,
Yeah, yeah,
places where, I'm noticing like a DPS is putting pressure
yeah.
somewhere, and how can I deal with that while also managing like in a mirror matchup, like while also, dealing with the other Sigma,
Right. That's the
kind of
tricky thing with
juggling that
Sigma.
tension.
Yeah, is like back in the day it was like controlling or setting up your own off angle. But a lot of the
Hmm.
times you'll end up being the quote unquote main angle. But if you are on the main angle, you're still prioritizing and shooting the targets that are best for you. So for you, it's like you might end up sitting here the majority of these fights, or
Yep.
here the majority of these fights. But if something is over here, you will push that if that is a priority target for you. And then even if
Hmm.
it's just spamming down main, if you could shoot behind the Sigma and hit his supports, you're going to do that. That's how you win the Sigma trade.
Yep.
That's something that we see even a lot back in the Overwatch League Circuit Royale trades, right? Where like the Sigma that was able to hit more volleys on the backline usually won the Sigma trade. That it's like little things like that. So even though there's not exactly the same as Overwatch 1, it holds a lot of similarities in that regard. Let me make sure the sound is good for you. Okay. Uh, Let me know what the audio levels are like for you.
Yeah, that's good.
Is it good? Okay, sounds good.
Mhm.
All right. So Sigma good, lots of nice sightlines, good spam. First thing you always need to be aware of, especially on a map point like this, is like turning around right now, knowing like where the line is for your team. So for example, right
Yep.
now, what are you doing right now? What's the purpose out of your pressure right now?
Just kind of poking a little bit,
Yeah,
trying to make it
yeah,
harder for them to walk forward.
right. Just like incidental, a little bit of poke, a little bit of scouting, some ult charge, right? But
Yep.
it's not, you're not fighting here, right?
No, I'm not gonna stay there. No.
Right. And the key thing for you is to make that very clear so that when you rotate back to this corner here, you either A, haven't used any resources, or B, have time to regenerate those resources before cart actually crosses this line here, right? Especially
Right.
with your
Right.
Ana being like way back here, you will not win any cooldown trades here. So everything that you do
Right.
here is temporary. So like this is all fine, assuming that you get what you need back in time.
Right.
I will say this is where you're gonna have to like check your dopamine a little bit, because I know what you're gonna do, and this is all fine and dandy, but you are going to have to push yourself mechanically with Sigma.
Yeah.
Um, and there are exceptions to this rule. Like you will see something that's like a million miles away, maybe a Genji double jumping over here, and you're like, it's too risky, right? And you're just gonna go for this guy here, right? But
Yeah.
this Batiste and Mercy are standing right in front of you, right? And I
Yeah.
know that they're at an explosion range where you would need to hit essentially directs to actually hit them, but you need to do that. You need to. Their hitboxes
Okay.
are not that hard. They're not that far away. They're not like, this Mercy isn't valking. You know what I'm saying? You need to be comfortable hitting these shots because this is
Okay.
good, and this
Mhm.
is like you're gonna win the cool. I mean, he's an idiot, right? Like that's great, but that's. I mean, even that's like, what did you really get out of that? Was there any chance of like actually securing a kill there?
No.
No, all you did was buy yourself more time, which is
Right.
good, but it's
If you're on
not the
defense.
best, right? We
Right.
want the
Right.
best. We want, because if you hit the Mercy and bap with this volley, you're also not likely going to get a kill. But there's a chance of it, and also what it's going to force them to do is it's probably going to force more cooldowns, more resources, and delay the push even more. So even if you're looking at this from I'm just putting pressure, I'm not trying to get a kill, it's still better to shoot the squishies there. That's
Okay.
Sigma's gonna. And the funny thing is a lot of it. It's like psychological too, because the Sigma will feel confident and will start to walk forward because he's winning the cooldown trade, not realizing what's going on behind him.
Okay.
You see that? Like, I can't
Yeah.
tell you how many times where it's like the Reinhardt's like, I'm full HP, I'm winning the Reinhardt trade, not knowing that like his supports are like getting smoked, and then he walks forward and he actually dies because he doesn't realize what's been forced. And I think that's kind of like your mindset here. And with Sigma, it's hard because it is hard to hit your cooldowns on your shots, but it's not. You need to kind of like judge between what's like hard and impossible and hard and I should be able to hit that, right?
Sure.
I honestly wouldn't burn the last of my shield on this here. Like, you have no shield essentially. You still need them to walk out of the choke. If somebody dies to Widow here, it's their fault. Like, their Widow is like, it's their fault. You know what I'm saying? You have no shield here.
Yeah. That's fair.
Okay. Like, that right there was a whiff, but you got the right idea.
Okay.
You know, like that rock hits, we're talking major problems. Major problems for that backline.
Right.
And I like this too. Like, anytime that you can just do damage without using shield is like a W, right?
Sure.
Good shield. I mean, again, right idea. I mean, look at the Sigma. Or the Sigma, I say. Look at this Batiste, right? Watch his POV. I'm not sure if he responded to your rock, but it sure looked like it.
Sure.
You know, and if that rock hits, he definitely dies without the lamp, so. Be careful about shifts like this. So, what's the reasoning about shifting like this? You tell me. What's the logic? Because there is logic, but what is that logic?
I want to say I was low on shield, and I was also kind of low HP, but also like I didn't need to do it because I was just kind of peeking to like maybe gain some overhealth or something.
Right. So you know the status of rock. So like this is a situation where like there isn't a lot of guaranteed damage coming in through here. So just don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
You're fine. You're fine.
Sure.
Like you either hard ego it for spam damage that you know is coming in, or you use it when you need it. That's it. There's no in between. This is like weird. This is in between weird. Like you think there might be damage coming in, but you're not really sure, and you also didn't really need it, so why use it?
Okay, fair enough.
I mean, it's a 12-second cooldown. It's your longest cooldown.
Yeah.
Be careful. This is also where very micro detail, because I'm going to be obsessing with the micro here, because this is where Sigma gets his like his nuance, right? Sure. What's the mistake here? Very micro error. Let's see if you can notice it.
Is it positioning? Should I be like
positioning
closer to the corner?
Why are you peeking 4 members of the enemy team?
Yeah, I shouldn't be.
Wouldn't you have a shield in front of you and you could just be LOSing and shooting the shield?
Yeah.
You only peek somebody as Sigma if you want to shoot them. That's it. That's the only reason. Because what do you get out of being here versus being here? You're still shooting shield, right? So why peek this at all? Now, why would you peek this corridor?
Maybe if I had broken the shield.
Maybe if you broken the shield. Here's another little tip here. What if you use this opportunity? I don't know if you do it now that he's rock, but you could throw shield behind him and then take the shield trade, splitting up his resources, right? But that would actually make sense because you need that LOS to shield that deep, right?
Right.
Just a little thing. Like you always need to be. It's like Reinhardt's playing on a corner, right? It's like the same thing with Sigma. It's like you take the trades on the corner. I don't care if it's a Sigma or a Ramattra or a D.Va or a Zarya. Play it on the corner. Abuse not only your damage, but abuse the fact that you can bounce your damage as well. And just always try to like greed your resources as much as you possibly can. Win the resource trade right now. Win the resource trade. Win the resource trade by hitting more shots. I mean, there it is, right? You waste your shift. You peeked around a corner too far. You over peaked and you get rolled, right? So it's like this is like you lose this fight because of that. By the way, nice try in the rock. At least you're going for a squishy. I'm a fan. That's the only thing that went well here. Okay. Excellent. Annoying, but focus and you'll hit the shots. Same thing here. Focus.
I think I just got the second hero, yeah.
Yeah, it's fine. Just by the way, throw the shield at him as well if he's like actually shooting people. Okay, yeah. Very easy to kind of turn your brain off when you're playing Sigma, but like I don't know how to like put it best, but treat it like a Widowmaker. You know, like treat it like you're playing Hanzo. Like really like aim those shots like that right there. Like come on. You know?
That well, yeah, that I think I maybe had my brain on too much. I was like, oh, he's gonna drop, and so I'll predict that he'll drop. But no, that's
yeah.
Of course, it's gonna
That's
go high
okay.
ground there.
You know, there's a balance there. Like I would rather have that where it's corny, but it like actually shows that your brain's on. By the way, another thing to consider here. Okay, let me get really nitpicky here. What's the danger here out of your shield usage right here in your positioning?
If it breaks, oh well, if I need to go to a corner, there's like a window where I could get shot.
Does the Sigma? Well, yes, but also does this Sigma need to use shield?
No.
Why?
He's got both his supports looking at him.
Okay, who's not looking at him is the question.
Who's not looking at him? Oh, my DPS.
Your DPS and that also your support, right? So he doesn't
Yeah.
need to use shield.
Right.
Do you need to use shield here?
Yeah, definitely.
Right? At least with your current positioning, maybe if you were positioned like behind cart, like here, maybe you'd be okay, right? You could like jiggle peek here, but that's the problem. You're breaking the concept I like to call the line, right? Where like you're using resources beyond where your team wants to fight, and so therefore you're losing the resource trade before the fight even starts. We talked about it at the start, right? Why are you here? We're just early spam. We're gonna get it back by the time the corner starts. I don't have that same level of confidence here. So what I need you to do is you can poke early. That's what Sigma does, but don't get your resources forced. So how do you poke early without getting your resources forced? What's the specific micro positioning that's going to allow you to do that?
Cover.
Cover, right? Just sit here and spam, right? You can even take a Hanzo headshot here and you're fine because you can just duck behind and your honor will heal you. You don't really lose anything for it, right? Your HP is basically permanent, I guess. Like the HP will heal back up again. You know, you can't use your shield though. Like I'd rather lose HP than shield right now. Because one will regenerate faster. Like right now though, you're not gaining anything out of being in this positioning outside of the fact that you've lost or potentially could have lost more shield. That's the problem. Does that make sense?
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Risky. Talk about the micro here. So positioning. What's the issue?
Like when I ult or just right now? Corner.
You know what? Here's what we're gonna do. Coach yourself right now. Where do you go?
Probably just closer to the wall.
Yeah, closer to the wall, right? LOS. Yeah. If you're gonna peek with discipline on whatever you want to peek. Okay, so then there you go.
Yeah.
Shield.
Instead, I go the wide corner.
What do you think? Shield.
Oh, maybe past the Sigma.
Yeah, maybe. Attention on the right seems reasonable, right? You're looking at
yeah, they're all looking over there. They're looking
at something. But your positioning just gets progressively worse as you're looking at the corner. That's the problem, right?
Okay.
Okay.
And then the window.
Ultimate in response to the window. Reasonable?
Maybe. I think what I was thinking is, okay, we've got Nanoblade coming up. I can force the lamp by just ulting the BAP here, and I probably won't die.
Right. Well, the thing with Flux is it's actually, at least in pro meta, historically was a window counter because it basically pulls them out of the window.
Oh, yeah, of course.
And also, if you think about it this way, who are you going to end up fluxing if they don't window? It's probably going to be Sigma, right? Because where's the back going to be?
Further back.
Further back, right? So the window baits the Batiste, the Hanzo, all that kind of stuff to walk forward, which allows you to flux them better. So this is in terms of the macro game, you are making the right play. But in terms of the micro, you're fumbling the bag. Why?
Because of my positioning.
Right. I mean, it's just terrible here. This is an easy rock. It's easy for them to burn you in the air. So what should you do micro-wise in terms of the execution of this ultimate? Where should you be?
On a corner, and I think I fly to the wide corner, but I probably could be like closer to where my mercy is.
Watch this. Flux here and land on high.
Yeah.
You know? And then trade backline if you want to. You know, go from there. Help your team with the Genji. Like the execution here is terrible. You know, the idea is good, but the execution is just totally missing. Good. That's good mechanics right there.
Oh,
those are good shots. I mean, that sucks, you know, but
yeah.
Oh, honest, man. They have this like propensity just to nano the tank, and it's just like
Yeah,
Frustrating.
and for some reason it just makes my mechanics worse when I get nanoed. I don't know
Yeah,
what it
yeah.
is.
You gotta learn to perform under pressure.
Yeah,
The more you get nanoed, the better you'll be dealing with it.
fair enough.
That's the idea. Okay, so you made them swap. Did they even use flux? Am I missing something?
I don't
He
think they did.
did. He
No.
did. He did.
Oh, he did? Oh, okay.
Yeah. He I just kind of yeeted his cooldowns. Okay, yeah. So obviously we've talked about a lot so far. What are you seeing so far as being some things that you need to continue to improve at?
I think the biggest thing is like paying closer attention to whatever corner I'm on,
Mm-hmm.
and then like shield usage, like taking
Yeah.
like better to take an HP trade than use my shield for nothing.
Right. It's kind of like
Um,
one and the same, right? It's the same kind of issue with both. It's like
yeah,
allowing you to be more aggressive mid fight because you've had accrued, excuse me, more of a resource advantage through your discipline earlier, right?
right.
Good attempt on the rock.
Yeah, I think if I hit that rock there, we'd probably win that fight.
I would say so too. I would also say, I mean, again, another one of those situations where like, was your angle here, was your positioning perfect? I don't know. Maybe better
Yeah,
just again hug this corner and control backline. I think because you end up kind
maybe.
of somehow you end up in no man's land again, right? And the
Yeah,
problem is that like this positioning here would have allowed you to maybe easily trade backlines or easier trade backlines. Because if you don't hit the rock,
right.
you kind of have to trade backlines here.
Instead, I just get on the back foot.
Yeah,
He kind of
maybe you
walks
get
at
out.
me,
Maybe
and
you get
then
out of here. Maybe you need to get
I
out.
don't. Yes.
Ah, you ego, it's too hard.
Yeah.
Ah, it's a disaster. Okay, let's keep watching.
Okay. Here, I think I'm thinking like, okay, I should swap. So I'm gonna go throw my ult away and swap, which
You're
I know is
actually,
not a bad.
yeah. You're still really good. Like Sigma. Okay, what is Sigma best versus? This might help you with you deciding whether you should swap or not. What's the just
Um,
define the map circumstances that complement Sigma?
the map circumstances that best complement Sigma. Things with high ground, long sightlines.
Yeah, sightlines, right? Like the number one thing.
Right.
Like you are like the last bastion of spam tank left in Overwatch. The risk is
Right.
gone, you know. So it's
Right.
just you. So yeah, there's decent enough sightlines here for Sigma, right? It's not the best, but it's good enough. Okay, so that shouldn't be the factor while you swap here. Okay, so then consider the enemy team's picks.
Yeah.
Genji,
Um.
you know. Ramattra, pretty much neutral, I would say. You have tools to deal with him. You don't get countered by him necessarily, but it's not bad or good. It just is. Okay.
Yeah. It kind
Um,
of depends on his ability to get to me, right?
right, and that goes back to the map, right?
Sure.
So then what about the rest of the team?
Like my team or
Their team, usually their team. I mean, unless you're running like Brig
okay,
Zen or like honestly, even Brig Zen is like Sigma's very flexible with supports and DPS.
sure. Um. Well, they've got a Hanzo, so I probably want to be able to provide some kind of pressure onto him.
And that's good.
Bap-
You do great versus Hanzo.
Baptiste, kind of same thing.
Yep. So I think this is
So
fine. You know,
yeah,
personally, I think this is okay. The map is okay. Their comp is pretty darn good. If they were to go like Tracer and Lucio, maybe a little bit harder.
right.
But you know, I think this is fine.
I think to a degree it was just something of like, okay, I know that this may be the game that I get coaching on, so I want to just like get
Play a little bit of
some.
everything. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah. I guess for me, it's just more about like practicing this mindset so that like because you do play three things, even though for this bot it's for different reasons, in the future
sure,
you kind of know what you're looking for. And
right.
this is crazy. Like this is actually
Yeah,
like crazy because like again the line right. You should know
yeah.
where your supports are. Like your supports will be walking forward because you're taking space. But also like,
Mhm.
do you really want to pull your execute ultimate before your team is even taking any space at all? Like surely
No,
not. If you were gonna flux anybody, it would be Hanzo here if you could, because you know that there will be
yeah,
follow up there.
yeah. And this next part's gonna be really embarrassing. So
Yeah, and I know it's gonna happen.
yeah,
this is not. You're gonna land in the middle of nowhere, aren't you?
uh-huh,
Yeah. I mean, it's over. Like you're cooked. Because
yeah,
this is not what Sigma is good at. Now you can push squishies, right? Every tank can push a squishy, but
sure.
why would you want to when you could just flux and do the same thing basically from here with
Yeah,
slightly harder to hit shots? Yes, but
land on the high ground.
I mean, the embarrassing part is obviously the mechanical side of things, but like it went south before that even happened. So,
Sure.
is there any more Sigma, or is that the our conclusion for Sigma?
I think that's it. Yeah.
Okay, so Sigma, not a ton of footage, but enough to get some ideas. What do you sing with
hmm
Sigma? What needs to be practiced?
Um, where I end up after ult, it would be the
Where
thing from that fight.
finish two fights, right? Where you finish
Yeah.
with your ult micro thing. Okay.
hmm
What else?
Corners, and then just really trying to like push mechanical plays, trying to
Yeah,
hit rocks
yeah,
on
yeah.
squishier targets.
You get a resource advantage, not
hmm
burning CDs early, um, and then pushing mechanics with M1 and rock within reason
hmm
to output more pressure. That's the goal of tanks, right? You pressure, 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 pressure. That's how you create space. You're scary, you get kills, you threaten kills, the enemy team responds, and then that's how you create space. And I think that we've seen a lot of hot and cold mechanics from you, which is
Yep.
showing me that you need more practice, but it's also showing me that I don't think that your focus is there on that. And I think, as weird as it sounds for the positioning and angle guy to tell you to focus on mechanics in the middle of a match, I think it's very, very reasonable for you to do that.
Okay.
Do you warm up with tank?
Um, yeah, I try to.
Okay. What do you do for warm up?
Usually, I'll just play a couple rounds of quick play and then
Sure.
get into it.
What I would recommend, and people are going to hate me for this, but I would recommend unranked deathmatch play Sigma.
Okay.
You're going to get such a good dueling practice in that.
Okay.
Because the thing with quick play is it's like you're going to just kind of like do whatever you want, just play the game, right? But I want you
Right.
to
Right.
go into an unranked deathmatch and I want you to murder every Genji that you play versus. Do not let them get
Okay.
away. Do not kill them every time. Same thing with Tracer. It's a lot not so bad because you've got a little bit worse HP as well, but you are going to get good at shield dancing. You're going to get good at hitting M1s and squishy targets. You're going to get really good at hitting your rocks, and you're also going to get a little bit of your battle pass XP. No, but like, yeah,
Yeah.
I highly recommend that for the tank stuff. And honestly, like, you could do the same thing with D.Va and Ramattra too. Really, truly.
Yeah.
It's like it's somehow this like it's actually not that fun playing tank and deathmatch, right? It feels like too slow and a little bit clunky, but that you need to get those mechanics down. Like Ramattra, you
Okay.
need to hit every punch on a Genji over your head, right?
Yep.
Okay, Ramattra time.
All right. Here we go.
So, what appealed to you or appeals to you about Ramattra?
Um, I think I guess just like kind of the fluidity of it, like being able to go from poking close the distance and then make some like crazy plays happen.
Right.
Be able to trade backlines really easily.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then the win button, of course.
Yes, of course, of course. It's the most best, greatest all time designed
hmm
ultimate in Overwatch
Yep.
history.
Yep.
Got something. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. It's something. Okay. Let's take a look. Now, I'm not gonna flame you for this, but I'm going to flame you for this just a little bit.
All right. I'm ready.
What did this shield and what did this E accomplish?
Well, in my view, the shield helped me to not take damage until I got to that corner. The E, I really can't say.
Where could you be so that you don't take damage as you're walking towards that corner?
Oh, perhaps on the left side.
And then any damage that you take, is it going to be lethal or problematic for your supports to heal up if you take damage here?
No.
No. Nothing lethal, no finishing here. And then the E,
Okay.
I missed what you said.
Oh, I have no idea. I think I was just throwing cooldowns.
Okay. Now, everything in Overwatch is an opportunity cost. In other words, everything that you invest is something that you could be investing elsewhere, correct? So
Right.
when I say you shouldn't use your shield or you shouldn't use your E, it's not that the E or shield didn't get value. It's that they didn't get enough value. The exact same logic that we are using for your Sigma. So right
Mm-hmm.
now, what would you like to have so that you could easier take space / create space for your backline soon?
Probably my shield, yeah.
Probably your shield and probably your E. Now,
Yeah.
maybe you would wait a few seconds until your Sojourn gets a little bit closer. I hope that you will wait a few seconds before your Sojourn gets closer. So then how would you use those cooldowns if you had them?
Um, I could maybe Well, okay, the Ramatra's getting healed by the Mercy, but I could maybe shield him off from getting healed by the BAP.
There's also a Hanzo on card too,
Yeah, so I could shield
right?
that as well.
When you're using shield, it helps to just have one person that you're trying to block off. Because the thing with the shield is it's very small, and especially in
Mm-hmm.
Overwatch 2, people are going to be taking off angles and stuff like that. Genji, you don't care
Right,
about. Mercy, you can't stop. Ramattra, you can't stop. So use it for Hanzo. Throw the
right.
shield behind
Okay.
the Ramattra just to cut off the BAP healing and the Hanzo. And then what about
Okay.
your E?
Um, put it on a corner.
Sure. Where?
Um, if I could hit it, maybe the corner where the Hanzo is.
Sure. You
Kind of
could.
force him to back
Yeah,
off a
you
little
could
bit.
be kind of an ass about it. Just throw it all the way over here if you want to zone an area. You could also put it
Yeah.
behind the Ramattra so that he's slower to kite out from cover because he's
Okay.
gonna need to. Like, look at his positioning and look at your team. Right, he's a little far
Hmm.
forward. You could even fish forward on the Genji in the back, maybe make him panic. You've already done that once, right? Or
Right.
here's the other crazy thing: you don't use it.
Hmm.
And you wait 3 or 4 seconds, and you wait and read how the battlefield's going to go, because you're going to be popping your own little punchy punch form here, right?
Right.
So you might need that to close the distance on somebody. Don't have it right now.
Okay.
So
Right.
you have
Right.
the thing with the Sigma Ramatra is there's nothing wrong with not using a cooldown because his cooldowns are so long, and you will find an opportunity to use it within a few seconds.
Hmm.
Now, you done good.
Hmm.
You done good, because I know a lot of Ramatras who would have done what right here?
Just punched him.
Just punch the tank. But instead,
Yeah.
look at what you do, and I want you to watch the red circles, okay?
All right.
There's Nemesis form, okay? Watch the Genji, watch the Mercy. Do you see how they've had to shift their positioning?
Yeah.
Good.
They go.
And what would you have done if you had continued to punch this Ramatra?
Probably died.
Probably died. You would have given him another body to suck off of.
Yeah.
Right? You would have done jack all. Get on
Yeah.
the backline, force some cooldowns. Now, you might have to disengage at some point here through cover on the right side, most likely. But this is very... There's the lamp, too. Look at that. Very
Yeah.
reasonable.
Let me get the blade off too, so I think we're okay here.
By the way, small little detail. I don't know that would have changed the output of this fight. If you shield this off, he stops sucking. And
Yeah.
his ultimate cancels. So if I would have...
Yeah.
What you do here is you drop your shield and run away. Ult
Yeah.
ends.
I do need it in a second though. You'll see. Oh, I did shield it. Just kidding.
Good. Now, there's only one nitpick I have about that fight, okay?
I should have shielded first instead of used my E.
Right. Well, talking more about this, I guess, from this point on here. What's the mistake right here?
I think I could have killed the Ram quicker.
Yeah.
Like he was 1 HP. I could have just killed
Yep.
him.
My point here is why I would not be punching again. You have an active heal
I
on
should
you.
be blocking.
You
Yeah.
should be blocking, right? The
Yeah.
damage negation is unbelievable, right? So don't greed it. Just block. Get up to about 250 HP, 240, let out a punch, right? Or even between Hanzo shots, right? Even this here, it's just like,
Yeah.
oh my gosh, like if I... Oh, and yes,
Yeah.
you
No, that was
definitely-
very stressful.
You definitely should be shielding, of course. But yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I'm terrible with the micro and Ramattra, but
Okay.
you're familiar with the punch block tech?
You punch and then you block.
Where you can cycle your blocks to like increase your APM a little bit.
No, I'm not.
Let me find you a video on this really fast.
Okay.
Ramattra tech. I imagine one of these videos will have it. You'll have to test it out. I don't know if it's changed recently, but this is something that is like, let's put it this way. It's not used all the time by pro Ramatras, but it is used consistently enough that it's worth using. You'll use it occasionally. Like that right there, you probably would have used it, that engagement towards the end.
Okay.
It basically is about increasing the speed of your punches, like while weaving in small little bursts of block. It's like a little animation cancel thing.
Sure.
kind of weird. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
kind of a confusing cooldown tree. I'm not sure what the goal
I
is
was
here.
like, I think I was like, oh, okay, I didn't get him. I'm gonna leave.
Sure, okay. But it's like, for example, here,
I
your
was too far
nemesis
away.
forming, right? He's probably too far away. Well, he's definitely too far away if you don't what?
Um, if I don't use E.
Yeah. All
Okay.
right.
Yeah.
So you can't hit him with your punch at that range anyway. So
Right.
as you're closing the, I mean, look at this moron. He's moving forward.
Yeah.
You should have eaten. That
Yeah,
would have
and
been
then I probably
cooked.
would have got him, right?
Yeah, you definitely
Yeah.
would have got him. 100%.
Mm.
So now you're kind of a woo. Oh, huge lead. Where's my E? Use it, you know?
I
Because
hope so.
what's a smart Batiste and Mercy gonna do right now?
Lamp.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah.
And then go ready. 3, 2, 1, boing. Right.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Three,
Yep.
right. You need to prevent him from running away.
Yeah, there he goes. I got him anyway though.
Yeah. Another one of those situations where it feels like your brain kind of turns off just a wee bit, right?
Yep. Yep.
Because right here, what's the solution?
Block.
Block. I beg.
Or even exit Nemesis
Exactly.
and just shield.
Yeah. Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
A little bit of bloodthirst. Okay. Do
Yep.
we have any more
100%.
Ramattra that you want to look over? Or is that mostly it?
I think that was it. I think I should have played Ramattra here at the end,
Okay.
but I didn't.
Ramattra. What are you seeing with Ramattra?
Um, I think this is a common thing with many of the brawl tanks that I play, which is like needing to mitigate my bloodthirst a little bit. Um, and keeping my brain on even when I'm going for those like high risk, high reward plays. That's a more in general thing. But with Ramatra specifically, using the E more to like prevent people from getting away rather than preemptively. Same thing with the shield. I could just use cover instead and use shield when I'm
Mm,
closer.
what do you think?
Yep.
Because really, the thing with shield and ease, they're kind of traps that like, oh, I can just blow these out and do damage, but they're also phenomenal at allowing you to get value to nemesis form because the shield is like a big honking just stick that gets in the way. Right? They can't shoot you. They
Right.
allows you just to walk forward for free. E is what allows them or prevents them from running away essentially. So having those available is like really nice for your nemesis form. You're only going to use them for your nemesis form like half of the time, if even that. But it's just something to consider. Don't just use them when natural
Right.
cover or whatever will provide value as well. And don't
Yeah.
hesitate about not using them at all if you don't see a good opportunity to. Okay, so Diva time?
Give it time.
Diva time. Okay. I will say it as well that Ramattra mechanically definitely your worst hero.
For
Just
sure.
you wouldn't even just say mechanics in terms of like your ability to hit shots. You just looked uncomfortable on the hero. So
That's fair.
just keep putting in the hours, and a lot of your mistakes with Ramattra, as you put in more time, will just kind of go away. So a lot of heroes are just weird. You said I'm not familiar with this hero.
Yep.
Now, you're focusing Ramattra here. Why?
Just to kind of pressure him a little bit
Sure.
before I go for
I mean,
something
right.
else.
I mean, look at his positioning, right?
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
then
because he's a little bit too far up.
as soon as that like equalizes, which it has right now, your priority needs to immediately pivot, right?
Right.
To this,
Yep.
this, no,
Yep.
this. It doesn't matter, right? Anything other than him. Good. Good. Really, really good. Yeah, I mean, no way, this guy. Okay.
Yep.
Oh, it's last fight. Never mind, I'm an idiot. This happens every VOD review. Every single VOD review, I'm like, this guy's an idiot, and somehow I'm the guy losing track of time. Yeah. Okay. I mean, it was fine. You just went around and played deathmatch. So there's Diva.
Yep.
So,
Yep.
yeah. And honestly, their comp is pretty good with Diva as well. What?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I saw that and I was like, okay.
Now, what other tank would be good versus their comp? Maybe even better.
Even better. Mm,
Think about the map. Think about the composition.
Maybe Sigma.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Lots of immobile squishies. Shoot. Right. Now, D.Va works as well for assassinating them. But the difference between D.Va and Sigma here. Why would I prefer Sigma over D.Va? Now, by the way, playing D.Va here is good. But why would I, if I was like coaching a professional team, prefer Sigma over D.Va versus this?
Why would it be better?
It's not just the composition. What else is it?
This, at least in this first point specifically, there's a lot of like open space.
Yeah. You're gonna have to utilize this side of the map.
Yeah.
As D.Va.
Well, yeah.
Right. And Sigma's like, I'll just sit here.
I'll just sit here. Yep.
Just move here from cover to cover, right? So yeah. Okay.
Yep.
So you're gonna need to do what you're doing now, and essentially just backline assassinate. Be very careful about the amount of damage you take right there.
Yep.
Out. Grab the mega even. Okay. Stage high. Yep. See? Hindsight cushion. The best.
Yep.
Perfect. So the reason they're able to clear you out, by the way, this was fine, but you know that you're gonna get cleared out. Why? Ready?
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
So it's not a mistake from you. Just something you have to be aware of. Whereas this, you can expect more help, right? Considering where he's positioned and where your backline is positioned, there's more help.
Yeah.
So,
I don't think they kill him though.
Yeah, I would not have fallen. Too much damage. Like you mean, look at just like the amount of damage you take from just taking that right there.
Yeah.
And then here, you take a lot of damage because you fell. So you lose your angle. Watch the red circles take space off of this. Watch, ready? Bam, 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 and then watch. You see this?
Oh. Yeah.
They're like,
so I just need to just sit up there then.
You needed to be patient. You need to sit up there. If they're gonna push you out up there, that's fine because they're not pushing your team. But what happens is then as they clear you out, look at this Zenyatta's positioning. It's not an accident. Look at the DPS's positioning. That's not an accident, right? It happened because of what you did. And they might not even realize that, but it's like it's their monkey brain working in the back, right? Oh, D.Va out, W key now, right? Which is good, which is what they need to be doing. Now, the other little detail here is I don't think you're anticipating this, which means that you're thinking, oh, this guy's overextending, right? But he's not. Look at the freaking Hanzo.
Yeah. Oh,
right?
man.
So like it's like mid-fight, you're like thinking this guy's feeding, but he's not actually. It's actually the entire team is just walking forward off of your mistake there.
Yeah, jeez.
So be very careful about like when you're like cashing your cards, right? Like even now, I would be shocked if this bomb, like I'm honestly shocked that bomb even killed anybody. Just because it's pre-fight. There's nothing else going on.
Yeah. I think I just saw the shield go out and I was like, there's a chance.
Right. But what would be a better time for this bomb? Let me play this out. You know, like now.
Right there. Yeah, for sure.
Now we're actually taking space. Now our Pharah's a threat. Our Genji's a threat. There's more likely. It's not just about getting the bomb kill either. It's also about setting up your teammates to get kills too.
Right.
By causing splits. Now you do that, but it's just a teeny bit.
It's so lucky.
It's very lucky. Like this could have been easily disengaged, and then now you would want the bomb, but you don't got it.
Right.
Telling me with this Ramattra focus. Like right now, you know, the only way you lose this fight is if this guy pops off, right? Sit on. There it is, right there. There's the kill.
Yeah.
I don't care if this guy's moving. Sit on. Huh? Hey, look at this guy. No.
This one's rough. This one's rough.
No. No way. This guy isn't real. What is he doing?
And I thought I had enough DM for it, and it just wait, and then that happened. Yeah. So, but you know.
Yeah, I was. You were not even my primary focus there. It was a lot worse than that. You had no idea. Yeah, just like keeping your attention like in these Deval fights. It's the dopamine thing. It's the same thing as Sigma. It's like, hey, the Deval fight has happened. It would be really juicy and really fun if I just like got ticky and shot the tank, right? But that's not That's useful, but it's not the most useful thing you could be doing right now. The way that you lose is through like a Zenyatta hitting F5 or like the Cassidy hitting, and that's exactly what the Cassidy did. The reason that fight got ugly and ended up being lost is because Cassidy killed 2 people. 2.
Yep. Yep.
So, yeah, just be careful.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you've shown moments where like you obviously know what you're doing. Like even like your setup here is like pretty smart, right? And then obviously your recontest on the defense was really good. So it's just sometimes like your monkey brain kicks in and not the good monkey brain.
Yeah.
I
didn't need to drop her, did
this
I?
you need to be careful about. So this is the challenge with D.Va, okay? Because this is why long sightlines matter for D.Va, because it makes things like this really hard. Where you're like, what am I supposed to do here? I need to pressure this guy, but he's so far away, he's just going to get pocket, and I'm going to be demacked. So you tell me,
Right.
what's the solution?
Honestly, well, definitely not. I mean, it ended up working out, but probably would be better if I just go over to that little corner
Like,
in the doorway, like yeah, just like matrix up to that corner and then just kind of like poke at him so that he has to look somewhere else that's not, the rest of my team. Um, but even that, I mean, the Hanzo could pop off there too. So maybe I need to just go sit out on that ledge and maybe look for something else.
Here's what I would think, okay? And Winston players and ball players make the same mistake.
Hmm.
Your hero needs to get close. And you need to get it close with as close to full resources as possible. So what ends up happening is they go, bong, and it doesn't work and they lose, right? So
Yep.
think about living for longer and not immediately getting the kill. Fly in,
Okay.
full matrix with missiles, shoot, then what?
Leaf.
Drop.
Okay.
Fly out, grab the mega, matrix if you need to, try it again. And every time you do it, then this time though, when you fly on him, what's your advantage? You still should be, if you manage your matrix right, you should be full HP again, right?
Right.
But what's the difference between flying in this way and flying in this way?
There's less distance to
There's
close.
right, so your kill threat is a lot higher, and you might even get the
Uh-huh.
boop, right? Do you see what I'm saying?
Right.
The problem is
Right.
that you can't get impatient. You have to be patient. You can't go, I need to get the kill right now. No, you're not going to get the kill. Everybody and their mother is going to turn around on you, right? That's
Yep.
okay. That's
Yep.
going to create space for your team, but you can't die for it. Now, what's going
Right.
to happen is you're going to go in, you're going to create space, cause chaos, force pocket, reset, try again, and the second time's the charm.
Mm-hmm.
This happens with ball players, Winston players, like I said, all the time. You can't just think, I have to secure the kill now, otherwise I can't do anything. Because that's not going to always work. So, the problem here is obviously you take 50 damage. You take more damage on entry, and you don't even use your full matrix first off, and you don't even know where you're going. You notice? You have no
I think
idea, like,
I look at the Zen and I go, ooh.
right. But you know, like,
Monkey
you already
brain.
know this isn't going to work.
Yeah.
You already know this isn't going to work. Like, you're going to get nano here, which is going to carry the day, but, like, you're not thinking, you need to practice thinking 2 steps ahead.
Mm-hmm.
Or really just 1 step ahead. Like, I know I'm not going for the kill, so what's going to happen afterwards? Where am I going to disengage to and try again? So, the nano was the 2 steps ahead. By the way, you're making the same mistake. Where's the Cass?
Oh, he's still up there.
He's still up there,
Dang.
right? You're gonna lose to this guy.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Oh,
Here's the thing: is it's like I would cut you a lot more slack if I saw something like the Ramattra up in here. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I get it, because then he's the real threat here. But you know this. Like, if anything, the Cassie's in a more aggressive position than the Ramattra, so he's the more of the priority. Not to mention the fact that it's a matchup versus the Cassie, but like, it's a problem. Oh my days.
I just
Bomb's fine.
got him.
You got him. And he does die before the Ramattra, so you're doing something right.
There you go.
Okay. 2 steps ahead, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or 1 step ahead. Because you're going to try and get these cleanups. But there's a real danger here of you getting demacked on this cleanup, right?
Yeah.
So how does this going to work?
Let's see. I need to get across the bridge without getting dinked by the Hanzo.
Right.
So I need to just boost her right now at this very
To
moment.
where? Where is your end goal?
Mm, I could end up on the high ground,
Oh, yeah.
but I think what I end up doing is just shoving my face into the
Right.
Zenyatta.
I mean, we knew that was going to happen, but we need to be
Sure, sure.
we need to know what a better diva, which you will be, what we're
Yeah.
capable of. Right. So you would walk
Next,
forward.
next, yeah.
Yeah, walk forward full matrix till about here, right?
Mm-hmm.
Booster, shoot them through them, do a drive by, and land up here.
Ah,
And then
okay.
maybe even go back, get healing. You can get healing from here. You can just hide, avoid their damage. Your Ana will be
Right,
able to heal you. And then again, next step. What's the next step now? You're dead. It's over.
right.
You just drop. You could drop here. You could drop there. Full matrix, full HP, full cooldowns. It's over.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't cash in now because they're too far away. You're noticing this with divas, like this. You start having to think one step ahead when they're far away,
Right.
and then how you think one step ahead is through the use of health packs, high grounds, and cover.
Mm.
That's how you set up your engages. This probably will work. You're gonna get follow up here. Because your Genji's there, you get anti-nade, your Mercy pockets as well, so it ends up being really nice. But you could see, like, look at your HP, even with 3 people helping you. 250
Yeah.
HP. You all see how fast that was? Just too far, right? So, just be careful. All right, let's keep going. Do you have any questions so far, by the way?
Nope. This stuff is all making sense.
Alrighty. Sigma. A little bit of scouting. But you're not really investing anything seriously here, right? Yeah, this is like nothing that you're gonna weep over losing. I don't think. I would not be trading here as much.
Okay.
So just be careful. Good. Good on her. Nice. Don't do it. The Hanzo's still on the battlefield right now. There's a Moira in your backline, right? And you know this Ramattra's in Jack all land, right? He's useless. Like, he's here. Ignore him.
Yeah.
It's just about taking more favorable 1v1s. I mean, look, right? There's a Moira. About to go. Now she's out. And you're not going to win that trade with Ramattra anyway, so...
Yeah.
I mean, it's going to work out kind of nicely because you're ironically, like, accidentally staggering them. Okay, never mind. I lied.
I wish I had my bomb there though.
I lied.
I should, and I that was bad HP management.
Yeah.
That was the only time when I watched it back where I was like, that was I should have known.
I mean, it happens. It happens. Okay. There's just so many better 1v1s for you to take, and you're very inconsistent at it. Let's put it this way. I review plat divas. I review gold divas. I review divas that are even low diamond. And you are doing a lot of things that they don't do, right? Which is why you're not their rank. You're better than they are, right?
Right.
But it's not consistently doing it that's killing you right now. Now, again, you don't want to trade with Ramattra. You really don't want to trade with Moira that much. Who do you want to dive?
Pharah.
Pharah, right? Or
Mercy or Soldier.
Or Soldier, right? So,
yeah.
Vest. You know that if you fly into the Soldier, you're dead.
Yeah, for sure.
So invest.
I do. I go high ground here.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. But see, I would not even be standing here.
Yeah.
I would not even be standing here. You're just bleeding HP. You're not doing anything of value right here, right? You're just getting lower and lower and lower. Now, the Mercy had to Valk you instead of damage boosting your Soldier, right? That's how you would have created space here. So.
Yeah, and then
you're late,
it was too late. Yeah.
Because you're late, you end up waiting until you're really low, and then you take the angle, and then now it's like they just go zoom right past you.
And I probably fed that visor to him too.
Yeah, this is good though. Oh. I mean, I don't have any harsh words because the fight was already lost at that point, you know. So it's like it's not like. Oh, that was the fight-losing mistake going in there with boosters. I mean, no, you screwed yourself up from the get-go. Now, this is hard. This is a classic Rialto second, right? Map is okay outside of this particular point. It's pretty rough. But, like, even right now, go, fly, now. It has to be now, right? You could even fly in the Soldier here. Why? Why would this be okay? Maybe not optimal, but okay.
It would force the enemy team to look at me.
Think one step ahead. Would you die if you flew here?
Probably not.
Probably not. Why?
There's like a weird amount of cover.
Right, right. You've also created a little bit of distance between yourself and some of the members of the enemy team as well, right?
Right.
So yeah, or best thing would still probably be flying high ground though, and then fly high ground, off angle, get HP, dive bomb, right? Drop on backline, force them to turn around. Like you have to sometimes think like a Winston here, like this is oh, we're up one, therefore I can play like tank trade game, but no, that's not how that works. We've seen how that works earlier when you thought the fight was won and then you end up losing 2 fights because the fight's actually not won. Also, like you're crazy. Get healing, please.
Yeah, no, yeah.
Okay. No! No. Okay, there's just no follow-up there. So like you create this massive split with this bomb. Check it. But there's nobody there to follow up. Like, look at this Pharah. Like, you are talking about, like, 1 second away from this Pharah being, like, duck soup. You know what I'm saying? But there just isn't anybody there. Like, you're so close.
Yeah.
Speaking of D.Va, look who just came online. Yeah. I mean, good intentions. It's kind of like, you make a mistake, you use your resources, you bleed HP, or you use your bomb, and then the enemy team does what I like call a rubber band, they snap right back. And you're not in a position, you don't have your cooldowns, you don't have your resources. Okay, so we've talked about a lot of things with D.Va, okay? What's standing out to you? What are the priorities, things that you need to practice?
Patience, always. I think that's, one of those things that comes and goes with me. But there I didn't have it.
Patience in regards to what?
Positioning.
Patience with positioning.
If I'm in a
1 step ahead with closing distance, right?
Yep.
Using cover, dive stage. I mean, that's when people talk about like dive and why it's hard and dive staging and soft dives versus hard dives. That's what they're talking about. They're not. Right. It's not some like esoteric, complicated thing. It's saying I'm playing Winston, I'm playing Genji, Tracer, or D.Va. I want to get on top of your squishies, but I can't just fly across the map. I have to like fly to this cover and hide and wait, and then fly to that cover and hide and wait and reset and like over and over and over and over again, right? And you're playing a dive here. You have to understand how that works. Okay, so then what else needs to be practiced?
I mean, there were a couple times of like target priority.
Sure, target priority, especially mid-fight, right?
Mid-fight, yeah.
Not getting lazy with tank focus. Like, there are worse tanks to focus as a D.Va than Ramattra. If you were to get on top of Ramattra's head with full HP, I think you might actually win that 1v1. Not sure, but I think that you might win that 1v1. So it's not like it's a bad 1v1. It's just there's better things that you have mobility, leverage it, ignore him. There's better 1v1s, So okay, what else? Anything else that stood out?
Yes, faster, like decision making of I'm going to go here and do something, rather than just like kind of sitting and being a damage sponge.
Sure.
Like I know I'm not supposed to do that, but then like I just need to do that, have that process go faster.
Thoughts? What is that? How does that sound?
Yeah.
I really think it could be something that like you're talking about like my faster decision making pre-fight or mid-fight, but how about like just thinking about it before the fight starts, right? Like if I hang on, I might have to click on my face to restart stream and then like tab over or whatever. It's kind of weird.
Oh yeah.
You in?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, like if we go back to like let's just say here, okay. You could be thinking, I'm going to wrap around the Zen through left side. Maybe I'll go high ground and see what I get from that. These are thoughts that you could have running through your brain like here. Not here, but here. Because right now there's like crap happen on your screen, right?
Yeah. I'm like, ooh, Zen, low.
Right, exactly. Exactly. So it's the ounce of prevention kind of a mindset, right? Like where you're thinking ahead of time, right? And you're thinking ahead of time here, watch, right? You're thinking ahead of time. You're investing your time. But that's something that's obviously just inconsistently applied, and I think that's something you would benefit from. Okay. Anything else? Those are the big 3 for me as well.
Um, aside from the no, I mean I think like you know, thinking about like living longer rather than like focusing on getting a kill.
Mm-hmm. I mean, that kind of goes with the setup phase, right?
Yeah,
Like
sure.
where it's like one step ahead, one step ahead. That was such a
One
big
step
one for
ahead.
you because it's
That's a
like
big theme.
if you're
Yep.
not able to close the distance, then you need to find a way to close the distance through investing your boosters, flanking, taking a corner, something like that.
Right.
Really, really important that you do that. A lot of
Okay.
divas just doing things that don't feel that where you're not really doing anything right then and now, but that will pay off in like spades within 10 seconds.
Okay.
Okay, any questions?
No, that was very thorough.
Okay. Keep in touch. Good luck with your practice.